So let's talk about one of the most fascinating connections in the entire human body. It's this secret, really powerful conversation that's happening 24/7 between your gut and your mind. And honestly, it's a link so profound, it's completely changing how we think about, well, everything. From our emotions to our long-term health. Let's dive in.
We all use these phrases, right? But what if they're not just cute metaphors? That fluttery, nervous feeling before a big event, or that deep down intuition that tells you something is a great idea, or a very, very bad one. Turns out, that's not just in your head. It's part of a very real, physical process.
And the chemistry behind this, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, think about serotonin. We all know it as the feel-good chemical, right? It helps regulate our mood, our happiness. Now, you'd assume it's made up in the brain. But get this, over 90% of your body's serotonin is actually produced down in your gut.
So yeah, those gut instincts are way more than just a hunch. They are the end result of a ridiculously complex communication network. So let's pull back the curtain and really dig into the science of how your gut is talking.
So, this biological superhighway has a name. It's called the gut-brain axis, or GBA for short. And the single most important thing to get here is that this is a two-way street. It's not just your brain barking orders down to your digestive system. Oh no, your gut is constantly sending a massive flood of information right back up to the brain.
So, who exactly is doing all this talking from the gut side of the conversation? Well, it's time to meet the command center, a system so complex and so powerful that scientists have given it a pretty incredible nickname, your second brain.
This is the enteric nervous system, the ENS. We are talking about a web of over 100 million nerve cells. That's more neurons than you have in your entire spinal cord, all woven into the lining of your GI tract. And here's the kicker. The ENS is so sophisticated, it can manage the whole business of digestion all by itself, without direct orders from your head. It really is a brain unto itself.
And this whole gut-brain chat isn't just a simple one-on-one call. It's more like a massive conference call. You've got signals flying back and forth through the nervous system. Our hormones are involved. Our immune cells are listening in. And of course, you've got the trillions of tiny microbes living in our gut chiming in. That's the microbiome.
Okay, let's make this even more concrete. We're going to follow this communication highway and see exactly how something that starts in your mind, like feeling stressed, can have a very real, very physical effect on your gut. A really great way to get this is to think of your body having its own gas and brake pedals. The sympathetic nervous system, that's the gas pedal. It revs you up for fight or flight. The parasympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, is the brake. It cools things down so you can rest and digest. So when your brain senses stress, it slams on that gas pedal. Adrenaline floods your system. And to get you ready to either fight or run, your body makes a split-second executive decision. It shunts blood flow to your muscles and away from anything it considers non-essential, like digestion. And that's exactly why you get that sick, nauseous feeling when you're super stressed. Your gut has literally been put on pause. Now that whole fight or flight response is totally normal and useful in the short term. But what happens when that system is chronically out of whack? Well, the consequences, as we're now finding out, can be a whole lot more serious than just an upset stomach. See, when that community of microbes in your gut gets disrupted, that's a state called dysbiosis. It can actually damage the intestinal barrier. This can lead to what's known as a leaky gut, where stuff that should stay safely inside your gut, like toxins, can leak out into your bloodstream and trigger inflammation all over your body.
And what throws this whole system off balance? Well, the triggers are often things we tend to think of as purely mental or emotional. We're talking chronic stress, anxiety, even just a long bout of poor sleep. They can all mess with the gut-brain axis, and that creates this nasty, vicious cycle. A stressed-out brain leads to an inflamed gut, which then sends even more distress signals right back up to the brain.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, just look at this quote from a research paper. It says, dysregulation of the MGBA is a key component in the pathogenesis of neurodegenerative diseases. So, in plain English, scientists now believe that when this gut-brain communication breaks down, it's a major factor in how some of the most devastating brain diseases we know actually get started.
And what's really astounding is just how specific these links are becoming. Let's just look at this table for a second. For Alzheimer's, one leading theory is that toxins from a leaky gut get into the blood and actually worsen the plaque buildup in the brain.
For Parkinson's, a major hypothesis is that the faulty proteins that cause the disease might actually start forming in the gut's nervous system and then travel up a major nerve right into the brain. And for ALS, we're seeing how an imbalance in gut bacteria is linked to the exact kind of inflammation that speeds up the death of motor neurons.
But, and this is a really important but, here's where the story takes an incredibly hopeful turn. Because if a broken gut-brain connection is part of the problem, then fixing it could be a huge part of the solution. And that's exactly where the science is headed now, finding ways to hack the gut-brain axis.
This has just blown the doors wide open to a whole new world of therapies. We're talking about things like probiotics, which are beneficial bacteria to restore balance, prebiotics, which are basically food for the good microbes you already have, and symbiotics, which combine both. And there's even a procedure called fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT, which can essentially reboot a person's entire gut ecosystem using microbes from a healthy donor.
The goal for all of these new strategies is pretty much the same: rebalance the gut, calm down the body's overall inflammation, and by doing that, protect and support the brain. Just pause and think about that for a second. We are on the verge of treating the brain by treating the gut. It's a total game changer. And this isn't just a cool theory anymore. This stuff is moving out of the lab. Early studies are already showing some incredible promise. By targeting the microbiome, scientists are seeing better motor symptoms in models of Parkinson's, and even a measurable delay in cognitive decline in human trials for Alzheimer's. So all of this whole amazing, complex connection, it really leads us to one final, powerful question. As we keep unlocking the secrets of this incredible second brain, it's starting to seem more and more likely that the future of brain health, from our mood today to our wellness for decades to come, might just be hidden right there in our gut.